Apple pie often carries with it a warm sense of nostalgia, the kind of dessert that reminds us of family gatherings, holidays, and simpler times. Yet beneath that comfort lies an important truth: many store-bought apple pies are overloaded with hidden sugars. These sugars can have a much bigger impact on the health of older adults than most people realize. A slice may look innocent enough, but the moment it enters your body, the sugar it contains begins a chain reaction that can leave you feeling tired, inflamed, and far from healthy. For someone who wants to stay active and youthful, understanding how this process works is essential. When you consume refined sugars in high amounts, blood glucose rises rapidly. The body responds by producing insulin to bring those levels back down. Over time, if this happens often, the cells can become resistant to insulin, which means blood sugar remains elevated for longer periods. For older adults, this not only raises the risk of type 2 diabetes but also affects energy in a very noticeable way. Instead of steady vitality throughout the day, you may experience highs and lows, with energy spikes followed by deep fatigue. That drained feeling after a sweet treat isn't just in your head. It's your body struggling to manage the surge of sugar in your system. Sugar also plays a major role in inflammation. As the body processes excessive amounts of sugar, inflammatory compounds increase, which can worsen joint pain, stiffness, and other issues that are already common in later years. It becomes harder to move comfortably, and physical activity, which is vital for maintaining strength, becomes more of a challenge. This is why many people feel achy or sluggish after indulging in heavy desserts. The inflammation triggered by sugar doesn't just affect the joints, it impacts the entire body, including the heart and brain. Cognitive clarity, memory, mood can all suffer when blood sugar levels are unstable, creating a foggy state of mind that makes daily life less enjoyable. There's also the hidden connection between excess sugar and the aging process itself. High sugar intake accelerates something called glycation, where sugar molecules attach to proteins in the body, forming harmful compounds that damage skin elasticity and other tissues. This speeds up visible signs of aging, like wrinkles and sagging skin, but more importantly, it weakens vital systems inside the body. For older adults who want to preserve both appearance and energy, cutting down on foods overloaded with sugar, including many commercially produced apple pies, is one of the most powerful steps they can take. Another problem with store-bought pies is portion size. What looks like a single slice often contains more sugar than an entire day's recommended intake for someone over 50. Labels may say, "made with real apples," to give the impression of health, but the apples are usually drowned in syrups, artificial sweeteners, thickeners that add even more sugar than the fruit itself. Instead of receiving the benefits of apples, like fiber and natural vitamins, you're getting a concentrated sugar bomb that outweighs any nutritional value. And because these pies are designed to be irresistibly sweet, it's easy to eat more than intended, doubling or tripling the sugar load without even realizing it. The real challenge is that sugar feels rewarding in the moment. It gives a quick burst of pleasure and energy, almost like a boost you can't resist. But this is followed by the inevitable crash, leaving you weaker, hungrier, craving even more. It's a cycle that makes it harder for older adults to maintain stable energy, healthy weight, and control over food choices. Recognizing this cycle is empowering because it helps you understand that the short-term reward of a sweet slice is simply not worth the long-term cost. Choosing wisely doesn't mean giving up apple pie forever. It means being aware of which versions to avoid. Most mass-produced pies in supermarkets or fast food chains are the ones packed with added sugars that do the most damage. By learning to read labels carefully, paying attention to total sugars per serving, and avoiding products with corn syrup or syrup-based fillings, you can protect your health while still enjoying dessert on occasion. Even better, seeking out versions made with less sugar, or preparing your own at home using natural sweeteners like honey, dates, or small amounts of maple syrup, allows you to keep the tradition alive in a way that supports wellness instead of working against it. For older adults striving to maintain energy, mobility, and a sharp mind, the truth about hidden sugars in apple pies is a wake-up call. It's not about denying yourself pleasure. It's about protecting the body that carries you through life. When you choose pies with fewer sugars or save them for rare occasions, preserve your ability to move freely, think clearly, and feel vibrant every single day. Apple pie is often seen as a harmless indulgence, But what many don't realize is that the type of fats hidden inside certain store-bought versions can quietly wear down the health of older adults. Beyond the sugar, many commercially prepared pies use unhealthy fats and hydrogenated oils to create that golden, flaky crust and long-lasting shelf life. While it may taste rich and satisfying in the moment, the truth is these fats do not support wellness, and over time they put extra strain on the heart, arteries, overall circulation. For someone who wants to remain active, energetic, and youthful in their later years, mindful of the fats inside apple pie is just as important as watching the sugar content. Unhealthy fats are often classified as trans fats or certain types of saturated fats that come from low-quality oils. These are used because they're cheap, they help the pie maintain texture, and they extend the product's freshness. The problem is that when the body digests these fats, they raise levels of LDL cholesterol, often called the bad cholesterol, while lowering HDL cholesterol, which is the kind that helps clean arteries. Over time, this imbalance can lead to plaque buildup inside blood vessels, reducing blood flow and making the heart work harder. For older adults, whose cardiovascular systems may already be more vulnerable, this is especially dangerous because it increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, high blood pressure. Hydrogenated oils are some of the worst culprits, and they're found in many frozen or mass-produced pies. These oils are chemically altered to remain solid at room temperature, which makes crusts flakier and pies last longer on the shelf. But in the body, they act like toxins, interfering with normal metabolic processes and raising inflammation. Chronic inflammation caused by these fats doesn't just impact the heart. It can worsen arthritis, stiffen joints, and make it harder to move comfortably. Many older adults who struggle with daily aches and pains don't realize that part of the problem could be hidden in foods like pies, pastries, fried snacks that rely on these unhealthy oils. There's also a direct link between unhealthy fats and energy levels. While healthy fats from sources like olive oil, nuts, or avocados provide long-lasting, steady fuel, the processed fats in apple pies often leave the body sluggish. Instead of supporting cell membranes and brain health, they clog and disrupt normal functions, which can result in feeling heavy, tired, or mentally foggy after eating. This makes it harder to stay consistent with exercise or even enjoy daily activities, because the body simply doesn't have the clean fuel it needs to operate efficiently. Brain health is another area where these fats do harm. The brain is made up largely of fat, and it relies on high-quality fats to function well. Consuming unhealthy fats can damage brain cells over time, contributing to memory problems, slower thinking, and even an increased risk of cognitive decline. For seniors who want to remain sharp and independent, avoiding foods that introduce poor quality fats is one of the most protective lifestyle changes available. While sugar may cause short-term highs and lows, unhealthy fats create long-term consequences that can change how both the body and mind age. The frustrating part is that many store-bought pies advertise themselves as being made with real apples or home style, which makes them sound wholesome. But if you turn the package over, the ingredient list often reveals partially hydrogenated oils, shortening, or margarine, red flags that signal the presence of trans fats. Sometimes even pies that claim zero trans fats still contain small amounts because companies are allowed to round down when the levels are under a certain threshold per serving. That means if you eat more than one slice, you could still be consuming harmful amounts without realizing it. For older adults trying to protect their circulation, making smarter pie choices is essential. Homemade pies made with butter in moderation or healthier oil substitutes can be far better than those mass-produced with industrial fats. While butter is not perfect, controlled portions, it is a natural fat that the body recognizes, unlike hydrogenated oils. Some modern recipes even use nut-based crusts or oat crusts with healthier oils like coconut oil or olive oil, which reduce the burden on the heart and deliver cleaner energy. Choosing these alternatives allows you to still enjoy the comfort of apple pie without taking in the hidden dangers that work against your long-term health. It's also worth considering portion control. Even a pie made with better ingredients should be enjoyed in moderation, especially for those monitoring cholesterol and heart health. The idea is not to eliminate treats entirely, but to understand which versions are harmful and which are safe enough to enjoy occasionally. When older adults become aware of the types of fats in their food, they gain more control over their health outcomes and can protect themselves from silent damage that builds up over time. Ultimately, the fats inside an apple pie can make the difference between a treat that fits into a balanced lifestyle and one that slowly undermines energy, heart function, overall vitality. By avoiding pies made with hydrogenated oils and trans fats, and instead seeking or preparing ones with cleaner, healthier fats, adults can enjoy a beloved dessert without sacrificing their circulation, mobility, or mental clarity. Apple pie has long been celebrated as a symbol of comfort, tradition, and togetherness, but the versions that many people buy from supermarkets or fast food outlets often carry hidden risks that go far beyond sugar and fat. One of the most concerning issues is the use of artificial preservatives and additives, which are designed to extend shelf life, enhance color, intensify flavor, but do nothing to promote health or well-being. For older adults especially, the presence of these substances can quietly undermine vitality, strain the body's natural systems, and accelerate the very problems that people try to avoid as they age. Preservatives are commonly used to prevent mold growth, stop spoilage, and keep pies looking and tasting fresh long after they should have been consumed. While that may sound convenient, it means the body has to process chemicals that were never meant to be part of the human diet. Substances like sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate, other synthetic compounds are widely added to commercially baked goods. These compounds can irritate the digestive tract, burden the liver, increase inflammation throughout the body. Inflammation is a silent contributor to many age-related conditions such as arthritis, cardiovascular disease, even cognitive decline. The more of these additives that enter the body, the harder it becomes to maintain a natural state of balance and health. Artificial additives go beyond preservatives, extending into colorings and flavor enhancers that make apple pie more visually appealing or intensely sweet. Caramel coloring, for instance, is often added to give the filling a rich golden tone, yet studies have shown that certain types of caramel coloring may produce harmful byproducts when metabolized. Flavor enhancers, including artificial apple flavors, mask the fact that many pies are not truly made with wholesome apples but rather with syrups and concentrates that rely on chemical manipulation to taste like fruit. For an older adult striving for a cleaner, more nourishing diet, these additives provide no nutritional benefit and instead act as unnecessary stressors on the body. The digestive system, which often becomes more sensitive with age, can react poorly to additives in processed foods. Symptoms such as bloating, indigestion, irregular bowel habits are sometimes triggered by these substances, leaving people uncomfortable and drained of energy. What may seem like a harmless dessert can create a ripple effect that disrupts sleep, mood, and daily functioning. The immune system is also affected, as artificial additives can interfere with the gut microbiome, the community of beneficial bacteria that play a crucial role in immunity and overall health. A disrupted microbiome has been linked to weakened defense against illness, making it harder for older adults to stay resilient. Another overlooked issue is the long-term accumulation of these additives in the body. While eating one slice of pie may not cause immediate harm, repeated exposure over months and years builds a constant burden that the body must work to process and eliminate. The liver and kidneys, which are responsible for detoxification, can become overworked, leaving less capacity to handle other toxins or stresses. For individuals already managing chronic health conditions, this extra workload can intensify fatigue and reduce quality of life. It's like asking the body to carry an unnecessary weight every single day without offering anything in return. Mental health and cognitive function are not immune to the effects of preservatives and additives. Research has suggested that artificial food dyes and certain chemical additives may influence mood, attention, and brain chemistry. For seniors who want to preserve mental clarity, focus, and memory, reducing exposure to these substances becomes especially important. Foods that contain real, whole ingredients support sharper brain function, while foods that rely on artificial manipulation may do the opposite over time. The saddest part is that these artificial substances replace what could be natural and nourishing. Real apples, spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, simple whole food crusts provide fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that support wellness. But when pies are mass-produced with the goal of profit and shelf stability, those benefits are stripped away and replaced with cheap fillers. The result is a dessert that looks and tastes appealing but leaves the body weaker rather than stronger. For older adults who want to stay active, energetic, youthful, recognizing the presence of preservatives and additives in apple pies is essential. Choosing freshly baked versions from trusted sources or making pies at home with whole, simple ingredients eliminates the risk of consuming unnecessary chemicals. Even occasional indulgences can be enjoyed safely when they are made with real food rather than laboratory-created substitutes. By becoming mindful of labels and ingredient lists, it becomes possible to continue enjoying traditions like apple pie while protecting the body from the hidden dangers of preservatives and additives. When it comes to apple pie, the difference between what harms health and what supports it often lies in the quality of the ingredients and the way the pie is prepared. Many mass-produced pies are packed with sugars, fats, and additives, but healthier versions made with fresh apples, whole grains, natural sweeteners can provide comfort without sacrificing wellness. For older adults in particular, these choices can mean the difference between eating something that drains energy and something that actually helps maintain vitality. Fresh apples, for instance, are naturally rich in fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. They support digestion, help regulate blood sugar, and offer compounds that protect the heart. When used in their pure form rather than drowned in syrups, they give the body a dose of natural sweetness along with nutrients that contribute to strength and longevity. Each bite of pie made with fresh apples offers something nourishing rather than just empty calories. Whole grains in the crust are another way to transform apple pie into a safer option. Instead of refined white flour that spikes blood sugar and offers no real nutrition, whole grains like oats, whole wheat, or even almond flour bring fiber, protein, minerals to the table. For older adults, fiber is particularly important because it aids in digestion, keeps cholesterol in check, promotes a feeling of fullness that reduces overeating. The steady release of energy from whole grains prevents the sugar highs and crashes that come with processed flours. A pie made with a whole grain crust is not just a dessert, it is a smarter choice that aligns with the body's needs. Sweetness is often the biggest problem in commercial pies, but natural sweeteners provide a gentler alternative. Instead of refined white sugar or high fructose corn syrup, ingredients like honey, maple syrup, or dates can be used in moderation. These natural options not only sweeten but also come with trace minerals and antioxidants. While they still need to be enjoyed carefully, they have a lower glycemic impact and are less likely to overload the body. For someone managing blood sugar, this makes all the difference. It means being able to enjoy dessert without putting the pancreas under unnecessary strain and without the same degree of risk for insulin resistance. Another benefit of healthier pies is the absence of unnecessary preservatives and artificial additives. When baked at home or purchased from small bakeries that use natural methods, pies do not need chemical stabilizers to stay fresh for weeks. This means the body is not exposed to substances that create inflammation or interfere with natural processes. A clean, homemade pie may not last as long on the counter, but it will last longer in terms of health benefits. Knowing exactly what goes into the pie gives peace of mind and confidence that the treat supports rather than undermines wellness. Even the fats used in healthier versions make a big difference. Instead of hydrogenated oils or margarine, ingredients like butter in small amounts, coconut oil, or olive oil can be used to give the crust its texture. These fats, while still calorie-dense, are far less harmful than industrial trans fats and, in moderation, can even support heart and brain health. Choosing quality fats ensures that energy levels remain steady rather than weighed down by heaviness and sluggishness that often follow processed fats. The act of making a pie at home also has a positive impact on health. Preparing food yourself builds mindfulness and creates a deeper connection with what you eat. For older adults, this can be an empowering practice, turning dessert into both a joyful activity and a nourishing choice. Sharing a homemade pie with family or friends strengthens bonds and replaces the sense of guilt that often comes with eating processed desserts. Instead of feeling drained after indulging, you feel satisfied, energized, and uplifted. In the end, apple pie does not have to be avoided completely. By choosing fresh apples, whole grains, natural sweeteners, and clean fats, this traditional dessert can become something that fits within a balanced lifestyle. It becomes not just a nostalgic food but a celebration of health, showing that even simple choices have the power to keep the body strong, the mind sharp, The spirit youthful. Some store-bought apple pies are not created with the same harmful formulas that dominate supermarket shelves. Discovering these safer options can make a big difference for older adults who still want to enjoy tradition without damaging their health. While many pies are packed with sugars, fats, and additives, there are a few brands and recipes that take a more wholesome approach, using real apples, whole food ingredients, and lower sugar levels. Choosing these alternatives is not only about taste but about protecting energy, digestion, long-term wellness while still enjoying a comforting dessert. When a pie is made with genuine apple slices rather than syrups or concentrated fillings, retains the natural benefits of the fruit. Apples bring fiber that aids digestion, antioxidants that fight cellular damage, and a natural sweetness that doesn't overwhelm the body. The texture is different too, with apple slices giving a wholesome bite rather than the overly soft, almost candy-like fillings of cheap pies. For older adults, this means fewer blood sugar spikes, steadier energy, and a dessert that feels satisfying rather than heavy. The nutrients in real apples contribute to heart health and even support the immune system, making them a much better choice than processed fillings. Another quality of safer apple pies is the way the crust is made. While most commercial versions rely on refined flour and hydrogenated oils, better pies use whole grains or natural flours combined with healthier fats. A whole wheat or oat-based crust provides fiber, while avoiding the sharp blood sugar fluctuations caused by refined flours. Using fats like real butter in small amounts or plant-based oils in moderation reduces the intake of harmful trans fats and supports better circulation. The result is a crust that is still flaky and enjoyable but far less damaging to cardiovascular health. Lower sugar content is one of the defining features of safer pies. Some bakeries and select brands focus on moderation, using smaller amounts of cane sugar or substituting with natural sweeteners such as honey, maple syrup, or fruit juices. This balance allows the pie to be sweet enough to feel indulgent, but not so sugary that it overwhelms the system. For seniors managing blood sugar levels or trying to avoid the energy crash that comes after heavy sweets, this can make all the difference. It allows them to enjoy dessert while still maintaining steady energy and mental clarity. Additive-free pies are also far better for long-term health. By avoiding chemical preservatives, artificial colors, and unnecessary flavor enhancers, these safer pies reduce the burden on the liver and digestive system. They taste more authentic, relying on the natural flavors of apples and spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, or clove to create depth. These spices themselves add health benefits, with cinnamon helping regulate blood sugar and nutmeg offering anti-inflammatory properties. A pie made with natural ingredients is not only safer but also richer in flavor and closer to what homemade apple pie was always meant to be. Even though these pies are healthier, moderation remains important. A safer option does not mean an unlimited option, but it does allow for enjoyment without the same guilt or negative consequences. For older adults who want to keep a positive relationship with food, this balance matters. It turns dessert into a treat that enhances life rather than one that steals energy or worsens health conditions. Choosing safer apple pies sends a message that food should be both enjoyable and nourishing. It shows that you don't have to give up traditions to protect your health, you only need to choose wisely. By selecting pies with real fruit, whole grains, better fats, and minimal sugar, older adults can enjoy the sweetness of apple pie while supporting their vitality and longevity, proving that the right choices let you savor life fully without compromise.